I think we can all agree that security of your infrastructure is very important. Now, at Cloud Success, we've built systems and features that will make it easy for you to have both security and uptime. There are two issues with applying security patches, usually on servers. One is downtime that's caused during the application of security patches. The second one is potentially incompatibility. Sometimes you might apply security checks, security updates to your packages that are installed on the server, but then find out later on that they're incompatible with your application. And those usually take a long time to resolve and cause some performance or downtime down the line. Here I have a Rails stack that's deployed on AWS. This feature is not specific to Rails, but I think this is a good example to showcase it. It is deployed on AWS with 4 servers and a load balancer. And if I go to deploy and deploy with options, I can choose application and security upgrades. And I have multiple options here. One of them is Rails specific because this is a Rails stack. The first one is security updates and upgrades. Any security upgrade that's not going to impact your performance or uptime will be applied to your deployment. It might add to the time that it takes to deploy the code, but it's not going to have any impact on your downtime. The second one is about the components that are important to that framework. In this case, for Rails, you have Ruby and Node. It can be upgraded. And the third one is about rebooting the application servers if they need a restart. Now, the way we configure servers for you on any cloud provider is that they are configured to download and apply security patches automatically without any impact on performance. But sometimes those packages will require a restart for them to take effect. We don't want to make that restart happen automatically without your consent or knowledge and at an odd time for you. So we will allow, we allow you to, you can influence this time, and this will be the time that those pending upgrades will be applied. Now, how can we avoid these two downtime warnings? I'm going to head to application settings and health checks. So there are 3 sets of health checks that we can define and run automatically on our application. One is deployment health check. So this is when an application server is taken offline, it's not serving traffic behind the load balancer anymore. And we run this check on this endpoint, which is configurable to show if the application server is up and running and is serving a healthy traffic, and then it will be put back behind the load balancer. Now, if you have more than one web server, obviously the one that will be taken offline will be deployed, security patches applied, checks run, and if it's all good, it will join the fleet and serve traffic, and the second server will be taken offline, and so on. If the checks fail, in that case, that server will not join the fleet and the deployment will stop to avoid further downtime. So this is kind of a way of avoiding downtime while you apply the security patches and having the server coming up to make sure that there are no compatibility issues. The second set of checks apply on the entire fleet. This is not about the deployment, stopping the deployment. They happen after deployment, but are very good indicators of the health of the entire fleet. I have it turned off, but if I turn it on, you can again define an endpoint of the entire fleet. This is hitting the load balancer. Define the accepted HTTP status. That means health, timeout, the number of retries, and a cooldown, for example, that you might want to have time that you need to wait before your application comes up, and you want to make sure that is when you hit the application. And the third one is continuous, which is always happening. If you have a load balancer, whether it's a proxy or a native cloud load balancer, we always make sure that your servers are serving traffic if they are behind the load balancer, and we will take them offline if they fail to serve traffic at any point in time. If I have those checks configured and I know that they are the right checks that mean application is healthy, then I can head to deploy with options, choose application security upgrades, choose any of them, and hit deploy. This is a very good way and easy way to make sure you have a secure set of infrastructure servers that serve your application and you're not going to have any compatibility issues further down the line.